How you doing? Welcome back to our channel. My name is Ben. I'm your photographer retoucher. And before anything else, guys, I would like to say I hope you are all fine and healthy together with your family at home. Just stay at home, be safe, better than ever, okay? And I promise you this is pretty awesome and gnarly day because this is the part of the editing which I would love to share to you guys. So don't skip the video because I promise you if it's not that important, I'll go ahead and fast forward the video and you know I love it. But stick with me because you might miss out some important things that I would love to share to you. And I'm losing my breath, so let's hit that intro. Welcome back. Okay, now I know this is going to be a lengthy tutorial, but don't worry guys, this is all worth it. And please don't go ahead and skip some parts of the video because you might miss out some important things that I would love to share to you. And that's what I promise you, I'll go ahead and fast forward if it's not important, okay? Now, before we go into the meaty part of the editing, let me tell you guys why I'll be doing this next step, all right? And this is evening the skin tone. Because after this process, the next big thing that we'll be doing will be burning and dodging. And I know that, and as you all know as well, based on experience, it is very notorious in giving out or on shifting the colors of our skin. So I might as well have an even color of the skin now before burning and dodging, so I could easily fix if there are any problems that happens along the way while I'm doing my burning and dodging, okay? All right, welcome back. Now, how do we do this? All right, first thing first is that I create an empty layer, all right, and then rename it just to be organized. And then I'll go ahead and create a layer mask just in case I'll be making a boo-boo or something. I could always go ahead and erase it or fix it by using my black brush. And then call out my brush here and change it to 2% flow, because the main technique here guys is to work in subtlety, because you can't rush things when you are editing commercial level because they are very brutal, I'm telling you. And also you don't want to zoom in to your photo because you might sucked up into editing and lose all those highlights and shadows, because this is a global adjustment, so you might as well see all the parts of your photos here just to gauge where you are at, and try to avoid the details of the face as well, the eyes, the eyebrows, the nose, and the lips. And then every time, I can't impose this enough, you have to sample every time you're doing this to the nearby area of the area of what you're fixing. And then please avoid brushing out the highlights, midtones, and the shadows, because that is not the purpose of why we're doing this. The purpose is evening out the color of the skin without removing the highlights, although we'll be doing the burning and dodging later on. But guys, please know, you don't want to end up with a flat looking photo after this process, okay? Because highlights, midtones, and shadows have different colors in them, all right? So you have to work with subtlety here, and you have to practice just to master this. All right, now again, sample, and you have to change your brush once in a while depending on the area that you are trying to fix. All right, having said those, I guess you have the gist on how I do this. Let's go ahead and fast forward the video. I noticed that while I'm doing the evening of my skin tone, is that there are some bright areas on my photo which I would love to tone down, because I would love to give way to the skin on the face, which is my main subject. All right. So the way I do this is my own technique is I'm gonna get my lasso tool, sample on the bright area, all right, and then call out my adjustment or my curves adjustment, and then darken it a bit. You're gonna have to eyeball this, guys, so you have to keep on practicing. So once I'm happy with it, I'm gonna call out my brush tool and, you know, invert the layer, the curves adjustment, I'm sorry, to hide it, and then get your white brush, and then you have to brush off those white areas and tone it down a bit. Okay, there you go. And you have to use different opacity, all right? And once I'm happy, I'm gonna move on to the hands and do the same procedure that I made a while ago. Lasso tool, then curves adjustment. The reason being that I'm doing a different separate layer for the hands, because it has the hands and the breast have two different, you know, brightness to them. So I don't want to mess up. I don't want to mess up my editing here. So every time you adjust on different parts of the photo, you have to create this new adjustment, curves adjustment. Okay, just to be safe. All right, and now as what I told you, you have to use different opacity, because brightness on the fingers might be different from the other fingers, so it depends on how near the parts of or the area of your skin to the light. So there. All right, and then move on the other hands using different opacity as well. Now I'm just eyeballing everything, guys, and you're gonna have to practice, practice, practice. Remember, practice makes permanent. Okay, you gotta train your eyes on this. All right, there you go. Okay, so right here, just a little more here. Okay, just a little more here. All right, now once I'm happy, all right, once I'm happy with what I've done, okay, what I'll do next is, once I'm happy, is to group both of them into one group, and, you know, just to organize things like this, rename it, and then let me show you the before and after. All right, here's your before and after, before and after, before and after. All right, there you go. Now, once I'm happy with this, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to burning and dodging. All right, and the way I do this is that I pull up my curves adjustment, darken it the way my eyes were trained. So this is how dark my eyes were trained. So guys, you're gonna have to eyeball this. All right, keep on practicing, and then rename it. Hide the mask by pressing Control I or Command I, so it will hide the effect. And for the burning, I'm gonna do the same, brighten it up, hide the mask just to hide the effect, then rename it, and then group this all together, name it BND, burning and dodging, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, now this is very important. I'll be making my help layer. Okay, call out your black and white and then darken it a bit. The reason why I'm doing this help layer is that because I just would like to see the tonality of my subject without the skin color. It helps you, a lot, you know, just to take out the or mute the color first. All right, there you go. And then I darken it a bit because I would love to see the flaws on the skin. And once I'm ready, I go ahead and call out my brush, put it on white so it will reveal the effect. All right, and then The opacity, I'll adjust it depending on the areas that I'm trying to fix or do the burning and dodging. So this area here is a bit dark for my taste, so I'm gonna start with my dodging. I mean, there's no exact way how to do this, all right? You could start with your burning and then do the dodging, or you could start with your dodging and then afterwards burning. But I guess my principle here is whatever stands out the first, and that's what I'll fix. And for this instance, the one that caught my attention would be the darkest part or dark part of the fingers here, so I started with my dodging. Okay, and guys, you have to work on different opacity, okay, and the sweet spot would be around 5 to 10%. That's where I play it. I mean, that depends on you, that depends on your picture. As what I told you, you just have to keep on practicing. And the main principle for this is that you have to keep your audience keep on guessing where the highlights, the midtones, and the shadow starts and ends. Okay, that's the main principle while we're doing burning and dodging. And of course, evening the skin tone, the tonality of the skin. Okay, different opacity on different areas, different brush size on different areas. That's the trick, guys. That's the trick. Okay, now I don't want to bore you with this. Let me go ahead and fast forward this, and if there's any important things that I would love to share to you guys, I'll go ahead and normalize the video. So for now, let me entertain you. Okay, I guess you can see, guys, on the fast forward, once in a while I'm turning off the help layer and enabling the original photo. And how do you do that, or how you do that is, if you want to enable the original photos, to click option on your Mac, or control or option on your Mac, and then click on the eye, and then it will enable the original photo. Okay, so option and then click the eye, that you will enable the underneath or the original photo. All right, so there. And important things that you have to remember, all right, because I forgot to tell you before we dive into the burning and dodging, is that you have to adjust it globally first. I can't reiterate it enough to you guys. You have to adjust globally first, just to gauge where you're at, and you don't lose the highlights, the midtones, and the shadows before you zoom into your photo. Okay, that is very important, guys, because you might lose the highlights, the shadows, and the midtones easily if you are zoomed into your photo. All right, so having said those important things, guys, I guess what my parting words for you for this tutorial is to keep on practicing and train your eyes every day. And you'll harvest this at the end of the day. I'm telling you, it took me a while just to master it. Not really master it, but to get acquainted with how those things work. All right, And before we part ways, all right, give the man some love, all right? Abuse and click and smash the subscribe button, guys. And I would love to hear from you. So please do comment below so I can improve my future tutorial. And from here, I guess I'm gonna let you see the before and after. And enjoy, guys. And again, be safe with all these things happening now around the world. Just stay at home, spend your time with your family. That is important. And from here, I'm out.